when you use it to listen to the WMT Morning Show with Doug Wagner on News Radio 600 WMT.
6:09 on your morning show clock, 36 degrees in Cedar Rapids and Davenport on your morning show thermometer, 31 in Iowa City. It's Monday, March 14th. Happy Pie Day. Go, feel free to indulge, have a piece of pie, but don't have too many pieces of pie because then you may get yourself out of balance. Joining me on the Newsmaker line is Dr. Michael Evangel, chiropractic physician, and for over 30 years, he has been making sure to provide state-of-the-art, high-quality care to people of all ages. We appreciate you joining us here on the morning show. Doctor, how are you today?
Oh, thanks, Doug. Good to be here.
Glad to have you on the program. When I saw this topic as something to talk about, I said I knew that I needed to sit down and talk with you about this. Subtle signs you may not be as healthy as you think. And there are a lot of people, including me, it's like I'm feeling better than I have in years. But then something happens that kind of makes you pause. What are some of the subtle signs you call out?
Well, first of all, we are what we eat, and we're under a lot of stress nowadays with COVID and the pandemic, so that really pushes the envelope because when you really put yourself under a lot of stresses, like not sleeping much, like our mothers used to tell us, don't burn the candle at both ends. And when those things happen, sometimes subtle signs come up. And, for example, the most important ones are difficulty breathing. If you have a hard time breathing, it could just be that you're out of shape, but it could be something like a blood clot in the lungs. Mm-hmm. So something like that is extremely important to take a look at.
That's part of the cardiopulmonary system is one thing, our lungs and our heart, but then a lot of things that happen with our gastrointestinal systems, and that's where some of these things may start showing up and just take you a little bit sideways. You might think you have a little bit of a bug, or maybe I had too much cheese or something like that. There's a lot of things that come through that as well that we may not notice.
Well, nothing happens in the human body by accident. When we have a symptom, because we're designed to be healthy, whenever something comes up, we should pay attention to it and listen to our bodies. Mm-hmm. For example, with the gastrointestinal system, you're mentioning a lot of burping or bloating. It could be a problem. It could be a hiatal hernia. It could be acid reflux. It could be you just had a food sensitivity, because we have allergies, but also food sensitivities, which are just things that bother us. Some people have problems with lectins, beans. Other people have problems with dairy products that bother them. So we have to keep an eye on our gut, because our health also starts in our gut. The immune system comes from the gut and helps us fight infections. So
Dr. Michael Evangel joining me here on the morning show, and we're talking about subtle signs you may not be as healthy as you think. And we're saying that not in a, we don't want to set off the 5 alarms, but just so you can be more aware and more in tune with what your body is doing, what it's saying to you. What's some of the best ways, doctor, that you think that we can become much more aware so that we can tune out all the noise and say, all right, what is my body trying to tell me here?
Well, anytime we feel fatigued, too, because your body has a certain amount of energy, so if it's fighting off an infection, you might feel a little lethargic. And some days we feel like the Energizer Bunny, and other days we don't. So the days that we don't, we should really pay attention to that, because it could be, something just brewing. Right before we get sick, we start to feel a little off. So if we start taking care of ourselves, and maybe we can fend off whatever is coming down the highway there if we are careful.
Final question for you. The long-term stuff, making sure you react to these things, but the short-term, if I start feeling a little sideways, do I just need to okay, I'm going to take it down 10, 20% just to make sure that I'm saving up reserve?
Well, yes, but then certain things, if you have acute chest pain, something like that, that could be...
Oh, yeah.
Call for a 911. So, some things need attention right away and other things don't. So we have to be aware of important things.
Dr. Michael S. Evangel joining me here on the morning show. Appreciate your time here today. I'm going to put up a link to what you're doing on a regular basis. I really appreciate this. Is a really smart way of thinking about things. And I appreciate your time with us here on the morning show. Have a wonderful week, Dr. Evangel.